It's 8:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. A 23-year-old woman who died in a crash at Beresfield yesterday afternoon was the 9th death on the Hunters roads in the past month. The woman's Commodore collided with two other cars on John Renshaw Drive just after 4 p.m, blocking the road for several hours into the night. She died at the scene while one of the other drivers suffered leg and internal injuries. It's shaping up to be a very wet Friday in the Hunter. Heavy rain is forecast along with damaging winds, and a severe weather warning has been issued. The Weather Bureau says wind gusts could reach 90 kilometres per hour today. Hunter motorists have been given until late June to provide feedback on the newest proposal for the New England Highway. $85 million has been pledged to upgrade a section of the highway between Belford and the Golden Highway, with a flyover being proposed. Upper Hunter MP Michael Johnson says highway users shouldn't expect the upgrade soon.
When you build a house, you don't just put the roof on the ground. And, when you're building a major piece of infrastructure like this, you've got to get it right. It's going to last, well in excess of 100 years, so you want to make sure it's right. So I think 22nd of June, we're looking for feedback from the community up to that date.
It appears the financial troubles at the Newcastle Jets are worse than first thought. The debt left behind by Nathan Tinkler is now estimated to be more than $4 million. Meanwhile, the Herald reports the former billionaire claims his companies are owed $15 million in loans to the Jets. The Environment Protection Authority says chicken giant Ingham's has taken several steps to ensure blood doesn't spill from its Cardiff site again. The company's agreed to pay $80,000 in an effort to make sure it doesn't reoccur. A poultry blood tank ruptured last May, causing 1,700 litres of blood to spill into Winding Creek. EPA Hunter Regional Manager Adam Gilligan says the waste posed a threat to the ecology of the creek.
That sort of material can have a significant biological oxygen demand on the waterway, and so it's a short-term effect that can make it more difficult for other aquatic organisms to survive. Now, in this case, the material was cleaned up quickly and there hasn't been any lasting impact on the creek.
Charges have been laid over a hydroponic drug setup found at a property at Holmesville. Police searched the home yesterday afternoon, arresting a 42-year-old man who's due to front Belmont Court next month. Officers allegedly seized 28 cannabis plants and almost a kilo of cannabis leaf. Cessnock Art Gallery funding is still up in the air after council failed to come to an agreement on how to fund the facility. Council staff recommended council cease funding, but a survey found 90% of respondents saw a need for it. Councillor Sue Ellen Wrightson says the arts are important to Cessnock.
I fought very hard at council meeting to keep the door open and to work with the Art Gallery Executive Committee to look at alternate funding opportunities. If we had closed the door and said that we didn't need an art gallery, it would have really closed off any further opportunities for some either state or federal funding.
And briefly, blonde students living on campus at the University of Newcastle say their hair has been turning green after they shower, thanks to copper pipes in the plumbing.
Sport for our sponsor, newcastlecheaperscars.com.au.
The Newcastle Knights are hoping to back up last week's win when they host the Brisbane Broncos this Monday. After an unsuccessful run, the win has boosted the team's confidence ahead of the clash, with the focus of this week's training shifting from defence to attack. Halfback Tyrone Roberts says improvements can always be made.
Just not being happy with satisfactory. We've got to go out there and we've got to keep building. We only won the one game out of 6 games, so we've got to back that up with our performance again, and we just got to rip in, and that's what our fans want, and I think it's what our team wants as well.
Meanwhile, utility back Dane Gagai could be making his debut for the Maroons in the upcoming Origin opener. The 24-year-old has been called into camp to cover for the injured Billy Slater in case he's not recovered for the match. And in soccer, despite being benched for most of this season, Broadmeadow Magic's Chris Berlin has turned down offers from other clubs in favour of staying with his team. That's sport. I'm Georgia Moylan.
2 RFM News Time, 26 to 9.